Welcome to Episode 3 of From Idea to Incorporated, the Alberta Entrepreneur's Legal Roadmap. There are 3 ways to get a business started: side hustle, startup, or buy then build. And at least 2 of these I've recently done myself, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my story. Speaking of personal items, you may also notice that my face is looking a little more summery today. Don't worry, the beard will be back, my wife insists. Well, let me tell you about starting my own business. I've done this several times with not-for-profit organizations, and in late 2024, I left a long-time associate's role at an established law firm. There I had a steady paycheck, I was a known entity, and then I built this new firm from zero. New name, new brand, new client base, one file at a time. That's path 2, and I've lived every risk that I'm going to share with you. Now, Bulwark Legal Solutions is another story. This is one that I started alongside my firm, really on the side. While I was getting the firm up and running, I co-founded Bulwark on weekends and evenings as an online will intake platform to assist my own business and others in a similar position to me. That's path 1. And I tested it in exactly the kind of low-risk way I'm about to describe. Now there's a third path: buy then build. I don't have a personal story for me in quite the same way, but it's not theoretical either. Not only do I work with many clients who are going through this path, but in small ways I have done this as I've investigated and invested in other businesses. And I'm constantly keeping my eye out for opportunities here. So none of these are abstract for me, and I've personally and recently lived through these. So let's get right to them. I want to start with the idea of the side hustle, which is so popular today, especially amongst the younger people. This is a real low-risk entry point into business. You keep your job, you keep your steady paycheck, your benefits, and you build something on the side on evenings and weekends. Freelance work, an e-commerce shop, maybe a small service business. The advantages are obvious. You're testing the market with almost no downside. Hey, if it doesn't work, what? You've lost some evenings, but not your mortgage. That's exactly the shape the Bulwark has taken for me, a way to test a real idea without putting my firm or my own financial footing at risk. The risk most people underestimate, however, is the legal one. The side hustle is still a business from the moment money changes hands, whether or not you've ever registered anything. And if you're operating as an unregistered sole proprietor and something goes wrong, a client dispute, a defective product, an injury, your personal assets can suddenly be exposed. Side hustle or not. Now we'll look at that deeper in episode 4. Let's look at the traditional startup. This is the classic path. You leave the paycheck, or you never had one to leave, and you build something from scratch. It's a new idea, a new brand, a new customer base, all built from scratch. This was my own bet, walking away from my paycheck to start Chad Graham Law with nothing but my own name and client list I had to build myself. Now the advantage to this is control. You build it exactly the way you want it, unencumbered by anyone else's decisions, debts, or reputation. The risk is pretty much the other mirror side of this. You're building this market yourself. Nobody knows your name. You're paying full price in time and capital to prove the concept works at all. This is the highest risk, but highest control path of all 3. And it's the one where getting the legal structure right before you spend a dollar matters the most, because you have no existing revenue cushioning your mistakes. The third path is a fascinating one. People like Walker Deibel built his book around this: buy, then build. Cody Sanchez, the Main Street millionaire, famously discusses this method. Instead of starting from zero, you acquire an already existing profitable business from a retiring trade person, an owner ready to sell, and you grow it from there. The advantage here is that you're buying cash flow. You're buying an existing client base, trained staff, and a proven model from day one. You skip the hardest, riskiest years of building a market from nothing. The risk shifts entirely. Instead of market risk, you're carrying acquisition risk. That is, overpaying or inheriting undisclosed liabilities or discovering the business depended entirely on the departing owner's personal relationships. This is the work I do constantly with clients, specifically to acquire owner-operated Alberta businesses using this exact model. It lives or dies on the due diligence and properly negotiated purchase agreement. So here's what connects all three. Whatever door you choose to walk through, there's a legal decision waiting on the other side of it. The side hustle, how you structure the moment you take your first dollar. The startup, what entity you're going to build on before you sign your first lease or hire your first employee. Buy then build, a purchase agreement that actually protects you with proper due diligence behind it. I built through the first two of these myself, and I've helped clients many times through the third. So wherever your idea fits, this isn't a path I'm describing from the outside. In episode 4, we're going to dig into the structure questions more directly: sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and exactly what each one means for your personal liability and your tax position to a certain extent. If you're already choosing between these three paths and you want to talk specifically about your situation, book a consultation with me in the link in the bio. And we'll see you next time in episode 4.